20% of the EOC is on polynomials. So 20% can come from just these types of questions. The ways to do these types of questions basically is with polysmalt 2 or by graphing. Either of those options will work. So for number 1 of the 5 questions we have today, it says, which expression is the completely factored form of 2x to the 5th minus 58x to the 3rd plus 200x? Well, one option is to do polysmalt, and if you do polysmalt, you would type in polysmalt 2 under apps. You would pick degree 5 after you've chosen number 1, and you would type in 2, 0, because x to the 4th is missing, negative 58, 0, because x squared is missing, 200, and then 0 again. It would give you the answers, and since it's x to the 5th, there's a possibility of 5 answers. You can also type it in your calculator. And if you type it in your calculator, you would type in 2x to the 5th minus 58x to the 3rd, and then plus 200x. Hit graph, and you're looking for where is it going to cross. So you see that it crosses at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5, negative 2, 2, and also at 5. So the question is, does it also, where's that 5th answer? Well, polysmalt will tell you it's at 0. In this case, if you zoom in, you will also see that it crosses at 0, 0. So it crosses, or all the answers are 0, 5, negative 5, 2, and negative 2. Polysmalt will give you those answers. By looking at the graph, you'll also get those answers, which means the answer is B. Negative 2, 2, 5, negative 5, and 0. Number 2, what is the number of real roots of this equation? Well, you can do polysmalt again. You would have to polysmalt this piece here, and you could polysmalt the second piece, and you're looking for real answers. If you polysmalt this piece, you would get 1. You would type in 1, 0, 0, 1. This piece, if you polysmalt it, you would type in 1 and negative radical 3. If you put it into your calculator and look at the graph, you would type in x to the 4th plus 1, close parentheses, and then we would type in x minus radical 3, close parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and hit zoom 6, and we're looking for how many times does it cross? Well, it crosses 1 time right there. So there is only one real solution because it crosses once. If you put this piece in polysmalt, you'll get all imaginary answers. And in this piece, we get the radical 3 as an answer, or about 1.7. Question number 3 is, what is a completely simplified expression? In this problem, the easiest way to do this is to pick a number for x. Don't pick 0, don't pick 1, and don't pick negative. So pick something different. So I'm going to pick 6. Really no reason. Just going to pick 6. I'm going to use my calculator and type in the top and the bottom. So alpha y equals fraction 6 to the 3rd, and then get over minus 4 times 6, and then on the bottom I'm going to type in 6 to the 5th minus 8, 6 squared. Let me put that in parentheses. And I get 1 over 39. So I'm going to write that down, 1 over 39. And then I'm going to do the same thing with each answer. Now if you notice, answer A is exactly the same answer. Well, that wouldn't necessarily be completely simplified, so there's really no reason to type in A unless none of these answers work. So I'm going to type in answer B and see what happens. 1 over 6 parentheses 6 plus 2. That's 1 over 48, so that doesn't match. I'm going to try letter B, so that's, or C, sorry, squared minus 4, and on the bottom, 6 to the third, and minus 8. And I do get 1 over 39. And that would be your answer. So when you have a problem like this that looks very complicated, pick a number, plug it in, and see which one matches. The easiest way to do it, and quickest. Number 4, which graph could represent a cubic function with 2 real zeros? 2 distinct real zeros. Well, cubic is x to the third. So that means it's either going to have an end that goes down and then up, or an end that goes up and then down. Well, for that reason, we can eliminate B, because that's a x to the fourth, and C, which is x squared. So it's either A or D based on the rule about x to the third. Now we need 2 distinct zeros. So there's 1, 2 there, so that one has 2. This one down here only has 1. So the answer is A because it's a cubic, has the end behavior correct, and it has 2 zeros. Last is number 5. This polynomial equation, given here, has 3 real solutions. 2 of the solutions are integers, but the other is not. The non-integer solution is between which 2 consecutive? Well, either do Polysmalt or type this in your calculator and see what you get as your answers. Polysmalt would be quicker. I'm going to type it in. Hit graph. You want to see which one does it fall between. So, this looks like it's pretty perfect. I'm going to hit trace and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like maybe -7. And it is 0. This one looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it is. So this one looks like it falls in between here. So like maybe at about 0.5. And if you look at 0.5, it's way up there. So about 0.2. Way up there. So 0. Way up there. But it looks like to me it's between 0 and 1. So that answer would be B. I'd like to also remind you in this section you'll have classifying. And I'd just like to remind you that to classify they can be real or imaginary, which I'm pretty sure we all know what imaginary are and what real are. But real can fall into rational and can fall into irrational. And if it's irrational, those are numbers that don't end or repeat, like 3.21. 4, 5, 6, 7, and it just keeps going. Rational are pretty numbers like 1, 0, 1.5, -2. Those are pretty numbers. So this kind of questions could pop up also where it asks you to classify. Remember, imaginary you can't see on the graph, but real you can. So, for example, this is real and rational right here, because it's nice and pretty. This is real and rational right here. But this one would be real, because you can see it, but it would also be irrational because it falls between and it's not a nice number. Now you're ready to do the next piece. The next piece is this is your code for SIT. WY5, WA2, 15 questions on only polynomials. Once you finish that, there'll be another YouTube video for you to watch on non-polynomials, which is 20%, with another code. Go ahead and write this code down on your paper while you pull up SIT.